I was really conditioned to be a drug addict or nobody. I wasn't meant to excel.
I am good, Mom. Well, hold on, that sounded like a little extra good. That's not how that went. I didn't work hard enough, that's why people left. So it's a cycle of toxic shame that I keep telling myself, oh, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault.
Holy smokes, just because people label you does not mean that's who you are.
I probably will read these and cry.
Back the fuck up for a minute. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Because you skipped over something here.
Oh, I skipped over a whole lot. And I mean that kind of, sort of respectfully.
Just me not understanding. Probably a lot of that's me not understanding what the hell I was going through as a kid.
What are your thoughts on that? What's up, guys? Welcome to the Therapy Was Full podcast. I am your host, Terrence Davis, with my co-host,
Dustin Hayes.
Dustin Hayes, yes, sir. So, a couple things about me. Licensed United States, blah, blah, blah. Of course, go for myself. Anyway, a couple things about me. United States Marine. I am a realtor of 13 years, a father to 5. So, at least we know I got one thing that I can do right. And I am super excited to be here with my co-host, Dustin Hayes.
Yeah. A little bit about me. I'm a high school dropout. Fought alongside Navy SEALs. Built a multi-million dollar construction business. Exited another one, but brace yourself for this truth. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for coffee. Coffee saved my life. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to learn is how it saved my life during these episodes. We're also going to learn about our stories. And just to let you know, we're unlicensed, we're unfiltered, and we are unhealed.
Well, actually, I do have a real estate license, so I'm not fully unlicensed.
Oh,
just
all right.
But therapy license, I'm not licensed.
Yeah. So real advice. Mm-hmm. Take it or leave it. We don't know unless we know.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So we actually don't know each other that well. We met a couple years ago. And over that time, we've had opportunities to get to know each other really well, which is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about today, which was the most amazing thing for me is the way that we are both very different. I had somebody ask me one time, they said, how did you guys meet? I said, what do you mean? We met through Toastmasters, both military. She's like, I don't really think that you guys, I'm just really surprised. You guys just don't seem like you two would be friends. Why not? So when we started talking about it, I said, it's funny that, I could see where you might think that, but you do know we have a lot in common that I didn't realize until as we started having these more like authentic, more therapeutic kinds of conversations as I've navigated my my personal issues and all those things. What are your thoughts on that?
But it wasn't until recent, though.
That's correct.
So we've been friends for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. It's interesting the roads that you take through friendship. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really is. A couple of years, we've been hanging out, talking, mm-hmm. but in reality, have we really been talking? Or have we just been talking about our professional lives?
Yep,
and that's what we really bonded over. Also, you being a Marine, me being retired Navy, mm-hmm. We have kind of that instant connection. It's hard to explain to people who haven't served. Mm-hmm. Just, oh, you're a Marine, oh, sweet. We'll give each other shit. But in the end, there's a lot of respect that goes into this and goes into service. And so it's like almost an instant like bond. So we bond over that. Boom. Talk a little bit about war stories, talk about, not necessarily you have to go to war to talk about war stories, but your time and service stories and stuff like that. And then you just kind of start connecting that dots and start building that relationship. I don't know. I really don't. We met at Toastmasters, man. It was just like, boom. And just kind of instantly it's
an instant click. And so she asked, like, how does that work? Because again, I think visually we may not look like we would ever be in the same crowd, taking the same kind of places. And I'm like, no, the truth is that's one of the best benefits to the military, right? It's an amalgamation of a bunch of different people that all are from a bunch of different places, and you put them all in a room. They all go out and accomplish a mission, and then now we're bonded. Yeah.
Well, that's what a veteran is. Yeah. Veteran isn't, you're not single to one group. Mm-hmm. You don't belong to one group, one religion, one race, one sex. You know what I mean? We're not, there's two sexes.
That's next episode. Next episode.
So anyway, it's a blend of people. It's a melting pot of people.
Yeah.
And so, or a melting pot, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty of being in the military and being a veteran. It's like it's not one person. You can't draw a picture of one person. That's what a military person looks like.
100%. But the funny thing is, and I think as we start to interview a lot more of the guests that we plan on bringing on in the future, I think a lot of us have either similar backstories or very different backstories, which is kind of what made me think today is the first episode, right? This is the thing I think we should tell people about, is kind of how we got here. And I think you and I were having a conversation, and it started, and as it started, it just kind of started flowing, where we started talking about our childhoods and our upbringings. I'll share first. I was so surprised that like your upbringing and mine are the exact opposites. I was, fatherless childhood. We didn't have him. And then, I was told, oh, you're so great. You're so gifted. You're so talented. You're so smart. All of these things. But yours was way different.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was really a motherless childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Up until 8, my folks were married. And then, they divorced, and I went with my dad, and my sister went with my mom, which I thought was kind of uncommon. And then she was just really not around in my life until later on in my teen years, and we can talk more about that. But but a lot has transpired in my childhood to bring me who I am today. And like you said, we are polar opposites on childhood. I was brought up I was really conditioned to be a drug addict or nobody. I wasn't meant to excel. So I was told I was never good enough. I was told, why even trying? So that was my conditioning from ever since I can remember. Very few people ever rooted for me to be successful. So I don't know. I don't know, something inside me that just willed to fight.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. We was talking about the degree to which for you it's proving people wrong. Whereas for me it was more so like I'm looking for someone to prove right. That's like someone's going to pour into me and really want to bring out, because telling me, go ahead.
To proving people wrong, I didn't even know I'm here to prove people wrong. And let's not make a mistake. I'm not here to prove people wrong.
Correct.
Because I really don't give a fuck about them. I'm here to prove myself that, holy smokes, just because people label you does not mean that's who you are. And that's exactly what it is. So it's like, whoa, everybody can put me in whatever box they want. But I put me in the box of whatever I want to be in. Yeah. And that's what drives me. It's not everybody else. It's not everybody saying that I can't do it. Now, that does fuel that fire. Yeah. When somebody says I can't do something, it's hold my beer, watch this.
Yep. Now, but here's where I think that dynamic, when as soon as you said, I was like, holy crap, we're just on two separate spectrums. So for me, it was, hey, you're so gifted, you're so talented, you're so skilled. And it was like, no one ever really took the time to pull that greatness out of me. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just great. Okay, cool. But then as I would let you down, or I didn't care about school, ADHD, all that other good stuff. As I didn't go to school, I wouldn't take my tests. I would sleep all day. Because all these things, I just felt like I was failing you all the time. Yeah. So because I was failing you all the time, I wasn't living up to the expectations or the impression that I thought you had of me, which made me feel like shit. So now I'm not gifted. I'm not good. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, cool. Well, maybe you're wrong about me and I'm not as good as I am, as you think I am. And I should just stay small. So it's funny because I think as adults, yes, our gradual growth journey ends up being a place of, I don't want to fit in the box. Again, because it's so funny because we're polar opposites. For you, it's, I'm not going to fit in the box. And for me, it was, I want to make you so happy. I want to fit in the box. How do I get into the box faster? So I could be the person that you are saying I am and prove you right. Because I want, I am good. I am good, Mom. Well, hold on. That sounded like a little extra. That's not how that went. But no, it's trying to prove anyone and everyone right. Hey, you are right. I am gifted. I am.
So what does proving them right look like?
As a kid, I think just not being too much. I talked about this with somebody the other day, and the big thing that made me happy about moving here was I started to feel like I was more celebrated and more celebrated here than I was tolerated back home, because you couldn't not get things done without me. It was like, okay, we don't really want you here, but we kind of have to have you here kind of thing. So it's more so hey, just be, you'd be so good. Just be more quiet. Hey, you'd be so good if you just, turn your energy down. Hey, you'd be so good if you could just stop being the center. Don't be so big, make yourself
so people are trying to turn the volume down on Terrence.
Turn the volume way down. And I think there's a number of experiences as I reflect on the number of times I've wanted to turn myself up, and somebody has said something that turned me back down, and I'm like, okay, well, okay, I'll go back to the box.
I believe those people are just insecure.
I think that now. Yeah, now I think that. Now I look at them and I go, wow, like you really just did not want me to shine. Like, what did I? And it's not even about like a real shine. Like, I'm not trying to be braggadocious and say, like, oh, I'm just so great. But like in those years, those very, very early formative years, as I wanted to be myself, you didn't want me to do that.
Who are those bigger people in life today that are just charismatic, energetic? Like, do you have an idea of those people? Do you have a couple of those people that you kind of look after and say, holy smokes?
Nobody that like I actually talk to. So here's the funny thing. I don't talk, like we're not like connected. I'll tell you, super funny. If you ever really want to understand like where my charisma and all my things come from, go back to the early 2000s and go look at The Rock. That was
my God.
Yeah, we started when we were kids, we started watching wrestling.
You know what Terrence is cooking.
I could do the riffs. I could do his mic standing, the people's eyebrow. I used to be able to pop that thing out real quick. We used to do it. And you know, I looked at him like, okay, this is charisma, this is charm, this is like, because he's making the women swoon, all the women want him. He's got the smile thing. So like that's who I looked at and said, oh, like that's who I like. That's the person I would really want to be. And I do think this is true. And we talked about this. I think because, and I said this before, like my anger and frustration, the way that I engaged with men as I got older was different because there was no representation of like, this is how men communicate with other men in the family.
Yeah, you didn't have that upbringing.
Correct.
Now, not necessarily saying that just because you have a man in the family or you have that that person you're looking up to as a man, father figure, or whatever, manly figure, doesn't mean it's right either.
Yeah, well, you still want a degree of like healing and like an even keeled kind of person. Like if you have a super aggressive dad, I don't know if your dad was like super aggressive, super angry. If you've got somebody who's super aggressive, super angry, hyper masculine, and they're pressing on you every day to be a man, then I think that's the other side of the spectrum. But like when you're trying to like find out who you are in those formative years, like trying to who you want to be, and you got some people telling you to turn yourself down, that's not who you are. For me, it makes so much sense now as I go back and I reflect on like all the things I used to do as a kid. Essentially, what you were doing is you were putting me in a box, and I would walk into that box willingly because I wanted to make you happy. I thought if I did the box thing, I'd be happy. I'd get love. I wouldn't be abandoned. All those other things. The problem though is I'm in that box and I don't want to be in that box. I don't belong in that box. I'm not happy inside the box. I'm not happy. You're happy because that was the goal of me playing small for you so Dustin could shine, and now I'm just little Terry over here. The problem though is my soul didn't. I didn't like it. It didn't click. There was no alignment. So I'm now actively scratching and clawing to get out. The problem is, as I'm scratching and clawing and getting out, I'm being told I'm too rebellious. I'm being told I don't listen. I'm being told I'm too belligerent. I'm too hyper. I need to be quiet. Like all these things, they're like you trying to control me as I want to be out and I want to be me.
And where'd you grow up at?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So you grew up, in the South.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and also ADHD probably had a role in this.
I don't think it was, so the crazy part is I don't think, maybe, but there's so much that goes into it. I don't think that it could just be the ADHD thing. I think there's a lot of just like me wanting to be excited and be challenged. And I didn't find that challenge, so I joined the Marine Corps, so I was happy I did that. But like be challenged. Things did come easily for me. So because it came easy, I didn't push hard. There's a quote I used to have in my office. You say, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
And that was, and I used to, honestly, I look at it and I realize so much about my own toxic shame, my toxic mindset, where I'm looking at this thing and I go, oh, well, look at that. Yeah. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'm the talent that doesn't work hard. That's why I keep losing. I'm the talent that doesn't work hard. That's why I keep losing people. I'm the talent that doesn't work hard. I didn't work hard enough. That's why people left. So it's a cycle of toxic shame that I keep telling myself, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Toxic.
I mean, there's always going to be two sides to a story. I mean, there's always going to be, now it's always one person's fault anyway for this. You know what I mean? There's got to be play in both of them. But, going back to, your formative years growing up, that is kind of the pinnacle when that person should have been in your life to form you. I was same way. Like I didn't have a mother. So I had a dad who was a firefighter and who owned a construction business. You know what I mean? Now it doesn't mean those two are just hard people, but he had a hard upbringing as well. You know what I mean? So he didn't really know how to be a great dad because he never had a great role model. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So now this generational trauma is now getting passed down and not even knowingly. And so that's what was kind of get passed down to me. And, he's just a hard dude.
Yeah.
And my mom wasn't around, so I didn't have the softer edge. Not only that, but the abuse that happened when I was younger too, played a role in all of this. You know what I mean? So now, was it really childhood PTSD or was it ADHD?
Mm-hmm.
Was me acting out? Just me not understanding. Probably a lot of that's me not understanding what the hell I was going through as a kid.
Yeah.
I had a hard time putting that into words.
Yeah.
I had a hard time formulating, why am I acting this way? Why am I being this way? Oh, this is how I get attention.
Yep. There it is.
This is how I get attention.
Well, this is how I get the attention I want. And we call it, I'm sorry. This is how I get the attention, which is what I want. I want you to see me. I want you to engage with me. But the only way I'm getting it is by acting like an ass. I don't want to act like an ass, but that's the only way I'm getting the attention that I need.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to communicate, right? And I think that's something that stays with us as we get older. We'll talk about it in another episode later. But I think a lot of people, when they have those childhoods where your needs aren't being met, the need for safety, security, all those things, you develop this lack of communication skills. So then you start to find ways to survive, these survival mechanisms. And sometimes it is acting out. Sometimes it's yelling, screaming, and fighting. I don't like to yell, scream, and fight. But damn, if I'm not being listened to and I'm not being heard, I will turn this shit the fuck up. And then, again, it goes back to you said I don't have to take responsibility. I feel like I've always had to. It's always been on me to be responsible because everyone else wouldn't be. So if it's easier for me to go, okay, cool. Well, if this is my fault and I make the changes, then this thing that I don't like won't happen anymore. Okay, cool. It's my fault.
But that's the thing. How do you take responsibility for somebody else's actions?
I don't think I was ever taking responsibility for somebody else's actions. I think I took responsibility for the fact that I ended up in that position in the first place because of my choices.
So, you had some to play into it, but at the end of the day, you can't control what everybody else does.
But I can.
No, there's no way.
Yes, you can.
How?
I can. I think we all learned how to do it really early as kids. We learned how to control people or how to read them quickly. That most kids that have the traumatic experience, the traumatic childhoods, that childhood PTSD you're talking about, or ADHD for that matter, we learned how to read and manipulate and control people really quickly. I learned that, hey, okay, cool. If dad had a rough day at work, okay, cool. Today I better be quiet. Well, in my case, it'd be mom, right? So mom would come home from work, and if I knew I got in trouble that day, I cleaned the house. Why? Because it took one thing off our plate. I still got the whooping I had coming, but at least it was a lesser whooping. Or some days she wouldn't whoop me at all. So that was my way of getting out of trouble. It wasn't because I wanted to clean the house for us, because I knew if I cleaned the house, she might come home, less severe whooping, boom, we're good. When we're talking to and dealing with friends and family, we're reading people all the time. That's what that is. That PTSD, that hypervigilance, that's
agree.
Me constantly reading you. So even now when I talk to people, and this is the worst thing ever, I'm thinking 4 steps ahead of you. So when you and I have a disagreement or an argument, especially if I know it's coming, I've already had the argument. I had it last week. And I had every single route that you could possibly take in this argument. And I go, okay, cool. If I go down this route and I say, hey, it was Dustin, you could have been on time. You could have filled your gas tank up earlier. Oh, it's going to piss him off. Okay, I won't say that. I'll say this instead, and that won't piss him off. So then they'll go here. Okay, cool. And I'm navigating a chart to get to the desired outcome, which is I don't want you to be upset. I don't want you to be mad, Dustin. I don't want to make you angry. I just want to have a really good conversation.
Did it make you angry I was late today?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, hell no. Actually, I was so freaking early because I wanted to be. It made me happy because I wasn't the one that was late, I know. I know. Trust me. That.
Yep. It drives me absolutely insane. And I was like, because one thing I don't like is time. I don't like wasting your time. And now I said, and I did not fulfill my promise. And my promise was to be here at 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I didn't fulfill that promise. I was late, 15 minutes late, 5 minutes late, 3 minutes late. It does not matter. It's the fact that I was late.
How long are you going to hold on to that?
Because, after I'm getting done talking, it's done.
Okay, good.
Because I'll tell you why.
Because this is where we're on the same page. And I'm going to ask you if this is new Dustin, unhealed Dustin, or if the old Dustin would do something different. Keep going.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's your time. There's one thing that we can't get back is time.
Yep.
We can get money back. We can get material shit back. We can fix ourselves because we always got tomorrow.
We think, we hope.
Well, we hope.
Yeah, we hope.
Statistically speaking, we have tomorrow, so, but we can't get time back.
Correct.
So you could have made 3 phone calls probably time in the 15 minutes and gotten some fucking work done or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that I hold big, and I'm like, so I always strive to be on time, even though I find myself more late than not. And it's not by design or on purpose, or it's not by saying, hey, fuck you, my time's more important than yours.
Yep.
No, not at all. It's just life circumstances sometimes happen, like almost run out of gas in a hybrid. What the hell?
And that's why I don't get upset about things like that anymore. I think that's something that, that I'm going through my actual license therapy for. We talk about the biggest issue that I've got, and he keeps circling on the board. Every time I say something that sounds like I'm going back to it, he goes, I'm like, fuck, God damn it. Okay. Yeah. I don't like being misunderstood. I think there is a drastic difference between, hey, this thing happened, oops, we move on, than me assuming, you know what, typical fucking Dustin doesn't care about being up on here on time. And what I think happens is it's a twofold thing. The first issue that I used to have to suffer with was I would judge the hell out of myself. The whole ride over, I'm going in on who bro, this is what I'm talking about. Yep. You fucking don't care about nobody's time.
Hard on yourself.
I go hard on myself. And then the reason why I asked, when are you going to let that go, is because I would hold on to that for at least the next 2 weeks. And the next time we have an engagement, I'd be like, oh, I got to make sure I'm on time, because the last time I was there, I don't let it go. I hold on to it, and I judge myself for a long time about it.
The problem with this is I don't do it off this engagement. I do it off at every engagement I encounter.
Correct. Yep.
So it's not just this engagement. It's like, ooh, shit. Will that play a role in next time? Yeah, absolutely. Am I going to be better prepared? Absolutely. It's, we can't help life and life circumstances, right? Yeah, I should have filled the gas tank yesterday. Well, did I drive that car yesterday? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right. Well, now it slipped my mind that I was low on fuel. Or just my fuel gauge. I had enough. I had like 2 miles left. I don't know. All of a sudden I got about halfway here. It's like 20 miles left to like 7. I was like, yep, that ain't going to work.
How could you ride like an asshole speeding?
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But old me wouldn't give a fuck. Back when I was a kid, would not give a shit. You know what I mean? Because
that's so fucking funny.
I have been. Oh yeah, not a.
We are opposite. Old me would fucking care so much about being late, and I would put so much emphasis, because in my head I believed you wouldn't believe it. Like whatever I said to you wouldn't fucking matter. Hey bro, I'm so sorry.
I wouldn't even apologize to you.
I got hit by a car. I would apologize and apologize and apologize and apologize and apologize. And then one day I realized, you know what? Circumstances happen. Things come up. I'm not apologizing anymore. You know what I'll do? I'll just text him, hey, Dustin, here's what's happening. Hey, I'm running behind. I'll see you. I'll be about 5 minutes out. I don't care anymore. I don't care about being late. And I mean that kind of sort of respectfully. I don't care, because shit happens. And if you were late, I try to treat people the way I want to be treated, and vice versa. Because I know if I was running late because of whatever laundry list of reasons I had, I wouldn't want you to walk in. I walk in here and go, yo, Terrence, what the fuck? Thanks for finally showing up, bro. Like, fucking Jesus, bro. Like, you're 15 minutes late. Thank you. Like, yo, what the fuck? I mean, what are you tripping for? Like, I had other things that you have not asked about.
And that's also comes with, I'm not necessarily saying age. That just comes with learning how to communicate.
Correct.
Because now think about that interaction for a second. If you would have come at me at the other way, said, fuck, man, what's up, dude? You late? You have no respect. Now, we would have set the tone for the rest of this day.
Yep.
And probably the rest of your day. And so now you're just kind of living this place of like misery and angry off of somebody else's actions.
Yep. And
that you shouldn't really let them have that control over you. You know what I mean? And back when I was saying when I was younger, like I wouldn't give a shit. I would never apologize to you. I wouldn't apologize to anybody. Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll try to work on that next time. Boom. I just said that. And guess what? I'll try to work on. That just means fuck you.
Yep.
And what it exited my mouth, I've already forgotten about it. And I would never think about it again.
I'm telling you, there's a reason why I wanted to start off this thing with this, because it's so funny. You and I are on so like polar opposites on so many different things. It's crazy, like just the way it grew up, and then like yours being opposite, and then now you're here and you're on one side, and mine grew up this way, and now I'm on this side where now I don't care as much anymore. I don't care because you know what? I could spend all my time apologizing to you, and I still think that low key you're going to judge the fuck out of me anyway. So now I'm like, you know what? If you're going to judge me, judge me. If you're not, okay, then cool.
Oh.
Circumstances happen. Things occurred. I don't care anymore.
People are more welcome to judge me. I don't give a fuck about that.
I still do.
I give no shits and no fucks
I still do.
about anybody's opinion about me.
I'm working on it. Just working on it.
Yeah. Well, therapy. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's why I go to the VA. That's really where I go. That's really where I go. But no,
I'll rub off on you, man.
But these conversations, I think these conversations do help, and they do get people talking about the things that, like, kind of have these conversations here. But hypervigilance, I want to go back there. Do you still think ahead?
Yes.
How far ahead?
It depends on the topic. Depends on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
In business.
Yeah, sure. Let's say relationships. Let's go with more intimate thing, like relationships and marriage and stuff like that.
Nah.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, you said no. I don't think about it no more.
No. Man, in relationships, I don't plan a relationship out.
Yeah.
Well, I've been divorced twice. And so my first wife, I wasn't in love with. She just got pregnant. And so I took advice from somebody I shouldn't have taken advice from.
That's right. Yeah, your dad, you told me about that. Yeah, you told me do the right thing, which is, I'm telling you, so freaking funny.
Yeah. So that's exactly what my dad was. My dad was like, oh man, you gotta, man up, gotta do the right thing. I'm from Oklahoma. Yeah. So being polite and, having that respect thing is huge. And I was like, fuck, I don't even love this woman. And here I am possibly going to, not possibly, I'm going to marry this woman. Mm-hmm. And so I found out we were broken up. I found out. So I even asked her, I was like, shit, is this mine? Yeah. And rightfully so. Mm-hmm. But then, I kind of came to my senses. I married her. Man, that was just, I can't say it was a mistake because every road leads you down a path.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be here today if I didn't marry her. So fair. I don't know what the trajectory of my life would have been if I said, hell no. I don't know what kind of father I would have been if I said, hell no. But I know what kind of father I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And I know what kind of father I did not want to be. I didn't want to be like my father. I didn't want to be like my mom. I wanted to be there for my kids. Unknowingly, I'm actually continuing this childhood trauma on my own kids. Mm-hmm. And we can go into that later.
We'll do a child hurt children.
Are we gonna?
Ooh, this would be good.
Are we gonna do fatherhood or daddy issues?
Fatherhood and daddy issues. That's a good one. So the funny thing is again, I just keep hearing all these differences. So growing up, I always swore, dad left, I would never leave. And if I ever got a woman pregnant, I'd marry her immediately. That was always the plan, right? And I didn't do a whole lot of like sleeping around in high school and whatnot, but I always said, like, hey, if I ever got somebody pregnant, like, I would do the right thing. I would be a way better man than my dad. She did marry her, so technically they were married, so it's not like he's a whole lot better. But I did say, like, oh, I'm going to be better. I'm going to marry her, and I'm going to stay there for my kids. I'm going to do the whole nine. So then the girl I was sleeping with who had a boyfriend, she got pregnant. Boom, I had my daughter, first daughter. And that thought came up, the opportunity. And I think that's the important thing is, like, the opportunity for choices, that we have choices to make in life. And, like, when the opportunity comes, that's when we're going to find out what you're really made of. And we're going to have tons of topics about that. Cause I love the idea of being forged in the fire. You know what I mean? Like really having to, like, now that the situation's here now, what are you going to do? What you say? You remember what you said?
Yeah.
So I remember sitting in the car and I was thinking, like, I hated her guts at that point. Like, we hated each other. The whole pregnancy, like the whole experience was just ruined between, like, oh, well, you might be the dad, but I'm going to still pretend like he's the daddy. And then we're still going to have this whole thing. So no ultrasounds, no nothing. The naming, like, was like an argument. Like, it was like, hey, like, well, here's what we're thinking about naming her. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't like the name. And, like, now we're arguing about her name. And I'm like, wait a minute, I remember saying this. Why am I even arguing with you? What am I tripping for? You two, this is y'all's baby. And I'm just the maybe daddy. So here's what we'll do. Y'all pick the name. I'll love her the same. Who cares? Hung up. Now we find out the baby's mine. Super crazy. We'll take the story. Super good story. So we're sitting in the car. We're going to meet my boy and his new baby mama at Applebee's, or his new girl. We're going to meet them, hang out with them, because that's what we did. And on the way, I said, hey, fuck it. Here we are. I don't like you and you don't like me. We did not do this right. But we are here. She's here. We at one point did have, like, really strong feelings for one another. Maybe we should just try it. I know we don't like each other. Maybe we should just try going on a couple of dates, try to see if we can rekindle this thing and see if we can find the spark back.
Back the fuck up for a minute. Holy hell.
Back it up, yeah.
because you skipped over something here.
Oh, I skipped over a whole lot. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What?
So was this like a one night stand?
No. Well, I mean, technically, yes.
Or is this just like a friends with benefits?
Friends with benefits.
Or just young, playing around, didn't know what the hell?
Friends with benefits. She had a boyfriend at the time, so they would break up and everything. Break up. I just happened to be in town, and we kept that going for.
And you were in the military.
A couple months. No, I was out now. At this point, I was out. I was a contractor for Spay War. So I was traveling full time. So I was always traveling and doing my own thing everywhere else. I'd come home, boom, we'd hang out, hook up, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So at this point, we don't like each other. And I said, hey, I think we should at least try to see if we can rekindle the spark. Let's just give it a shot. Why would I want that for my life? No, I would never want that for her. I would never want her to go through that. And I said, oh, shit. Oh, woo. Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate your response. I appreciate you. Thank you for playing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I said, I said, don't worry about it. I'll never ask you again. It was my get out of jail free card.
Was it?
It was a get out of jail free card. And I rode that shit out.
Did she try to come back?
She did later, yeah. So she didn't kind of come back later. She tried to come back, I think. I started dating someone else like months later. And then she did eventually end up telling me, like she's like, hey, like, I remember when you did, like I reminded her, I was like, yo, she gets upset because of the relationship. I was like, I offered you the same thing. Like I offered to do this with you. And you told me no, you told me you were good. And now I'm holding you to the fire. Yeah. And she's like, well, you didn't give me any, and she's not wrong. You just sprung it on me. You didn't give me any time to think about it. You were just like, what's your answer?
Yeah, but
and
her
I was like,
answer, like right off the rip, just went into.
And I'm not even. I'm trying to get
blackout mode.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get better about this whole like mimicking people's voices things. But her whole reaction, her energy is like, why would I want that for my life? Like seriously, why would I want to do that to her? Why would I want that for myself? And really, what she really wanted was for the ex-boyfriend to take her back, which he did later. So
so it worked out.
So well, I mean, no, they. On and off. Well,
you don't even know that's not going to work out.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. But now she's with somebody else, so now they're happy now. But I think that's the funny thing is like it's funny because for me it was always something I had to do, and when the opportunity came to do it and really like commit to it, she gave me the easy out, and I took it. You never had that idea, that inkling. You asked your dad, what do I do? And dad said, do it. And you said, okay, dad, and you did it. I'm telling you, it's so funny how different but similar they. Yeah. Damn. Hopefully people don't think I'm a piece of shit, but we'll work it out.
Hey, who gives a fuck?
I'd
be honest with you.
Yeah,
so I love what you guys would think. Matter of fact, if you want, you can comment. What do you think about us? We'd love to hear about it.
I'm all about constructive criticism.
Yeah. I don't mind drinking beers and crying at night.
I probably will read these and cry at night. Just FYI. I probably will. I'm probably like, you user 4739677 said I'm a deadbeat.
And you will get me for about that, as long as I'm reading that sentence, and after that, you're a forethought like a turd.
I'll probably read it and hold on to it a little bit. I'll probably like think about it at the gym, and then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He doesn't know me, so it's okay. Yeah. But no, I think it's interesting how different we are. Go ahead.
Night and day. I did listen to my dad a lot. Now, I would say this, as your unlicensed therapist, you should probably kind of dive deep into who you're getting advice from.
100%. Yep.
Backstory, he's also been married fucking 4 times now.
Yeah.
Probably not the guy to get, advice from. Now, he would probably get, what I would say is like, holy shit. Hey, Dad, now I'm getting divorced. What should I do? Man, he'll probably give you the fucking,
he's an expert.
He'll give you the Madden game plan. Damn. He's like, this is how you're going to run this route. This is how you're going to run this route.
Dad, she said this. Audible.
Yeah, exactly. Omaha. So all these other things, like, probably been great at giving me advice on divorce. Give me advice on actual relationships. Fuck no. The dude's broken. Yeah. And he's not willing to get fixed. You know what I mean? So it's not my job to fix him. It's his job to fix himself. And so now I know where real advice comes from. I know how to take real advice. And I'm more than willing to take any advice from anybody. It does not mean I'm going to listen. Yeah.
So there's opinion and there's counsel.
Correct.
Opinion's just people talking about things that they would do. I think
there's so many people. Yeah. Everybody's going to give you your opinion.
Yep.
If going from fatherhood to marriage to opening a business, I love my funnest thing to do is to get people's opinions on business who never tried to do business themselves.
Yeah.
Because they have all the answers.
I mean, so the funny thing is, and this goes back to childhood, I remember this is the worst thing ever. So when I was a kid, I used to draw, and I was really, really good.
Really?
I was really, really good. And I remember the neighbor Mr. Rogers. His brother was an artist. And this is the antithesis of the actual Mr. Rogers. This is a hard rock, Korn, Creed, Slipknot.
What?
Like
Wait, you listen to Korn, Creed, and Slipknot?
Yeah, Korn, Creed, Slipknot, Megadeth,
What?
Metallica, like that. I had an entire, he had a old Camaro. I used to sit in, we just listen, he would turn it way up. He had this booming system. I would just listen to rock music. That's where I got my rock music. Was it really booming,
or was it just one of the house speakers in the back seat?
No, it was a booming.
No shit.
Booming. He had that thing hooked up. So I remember his brother used to draw. And I said, oh, well, your brother's an artist who can draw. You seem like a credible source I should go to ask about what you think about my art and my drawings and my things. So I went to him, I showed him my stuff, and he's like, oh, this looks familiar. You should draw like Dragon Ball Z and like, Pokemon anime. And
stuff.
The anime stuff, the robots and all that stuff. And he's like, oh, well, this looks really familiar. And I was like, yeah, like, it's like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. He's like, oh, so you're not really drawing, you're tracing. And I said, no, I'm not tracing. What do you mean? I'm not tracing. I didn't like trace over the picture. I drew that. Like I hand drew. He's like, yeah, but did you draw it from like your own head? Like you thought of what you want the picture to look like? Or are you just drawing another picture that you're seeing? And I was like, well, I'm drawing what I saw. And he goes, oh, so then you're just tracing. I took that shit to heart. And I was like, well, that's not, no, I can do this. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I rushed back home. I whipped out a sheet of paper and I tried to draw something from my head. And the second it looked like something somebody else had seen or I'd seen before, I threw it away. And I just kept doing it. I used an entire stack of paper and could not think of an original photo. Everything kept popping up with something I'd already seen. And I said, you know what? He's right. I'm a tracer. I'm never going to draw again. Wow. And I never drew again until my son found out that I could draw, and I drew a picture for my son. And he's like, oh my God, Dad, this is so good. I put it on Facebook. And he was like, Dad, you're really good. I'm like, yeah.
So did you revert back to your childhood when?
No, I never. No, I still don't draw. Like,
no. But when your son said you're really good, did a memory of that guy saying, "Oh, you're just tracing"? Yeah, pop in your mind. Saying, I'm not really that good, son.
Well, I think when my son said it, that memory's gone now, and I realize now as I've grown up that I never should listen in the first place because you're not the artist. Yeah. You're not the guy who's actually doing the drawing. You're the guy whose brother has the talent. But I listened to him because what I did, and this was the folly of not having the father role model. What I did was I looked for the father role model in anyone that I could find it with. So what I saw is just Mr. Rogers, right? But what I saw is like, oh, this could be like a kind of pseudo father figure that I can make proud of me. Look, he'll be so proud when he sees my drawing. What do you think? And he's like, oh, it's like shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to stop doing that now. And I didn't draw again until my son asked me to draw. And now he asks me to draw all the time. So I'm kind of screwed, but.
Yeah, but that's a love. That's a bonding thing.
It is, and that's what he does. He wants me to. So he'll start drawing a picture. He'll draw half of it, or he'll start drawing it, and he'll be like, "Hey, can you finish it, or can you clean it and fix it?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And he loves it. He's like, "Oh my God, it's so much fun." He saves him.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I couldn't imagine. Well, I knew what I fucking drew when I was a kid, but I was no artist.
Oh, I had one girl I used to draw, Dawn. Dawn. That was her name. Yeah, she had a name. Yep, she had a name. I couldn't draw females' faces.
She had a name. I hope so.
She had a name. Her name was Dawn. I used to draw her. She's super, the typical teenage boy's ideal female body. Super voluptuous, tight little 6-pack, round legs and thighs. Like she was perfect, and she never had a face. And I stopped trying to draw her face. And somebody said, "Why?" And I said, "Because." That's the one thing that that's the one thing that
it's individually.
It's just an individual thing. And every single video, every single picture, like she was in a wedding dress with angel wings and all this other stuff. I mean, I used to go in
on this girl named Dawn.
On this girl named Dawn.
What happened to her?
I stopped drawing it. I still remember all the pictures. There were like 4 or 5 really good ones.
Yeah, but did you ever talk to her in later years or?
Oh, no, it's not a real person.
Oh.
No, it's not a real person. This is
a fake person.
This is a fake person I used to draw. Yeah, not a real person. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird, low key, a little bit. Like I'm like following around, drawing pictures of her in a wedding dress. I
think that's kind of weird. You drew up a fake person and idolized it.
I didn't idolize it.
You did.
I didn't idolize it. I was proud of it. I was like, oh wow, this looks really good.
Because you said in your eyes, this is what I want in a woman.
Well, no.
So the physical thing was your most important thing.
Well, no. What I was meaning was like the way that she was drawn wasn't like because I was a teenager.
But her body was the same in every one, with the exception of the outfit or
correct.
This right?
Yeah.
So you're like,
I mean, maybe
this
exactly
way,
the
like,
same, but
sometimes
a little
with
more,
you.
sometimes a little bigger here, a little smaller there, a little more sporty there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But no. I think there's a little.
So
bit
in January she slimmed down, in February, and
listen, she was on. January she was a little thicker in January.
In winter she started.
Yeah, the super short, short jean shorts were a little too tight.
All the pumpkin spices started coming in.
Yeah, the pumpkin spice. Now she's in a wedding dress and some angel wings. Yeah, she's looking good. But no, we used to draw a lot. I think, but the crazy part is that we talk about counsel and opinion. I think I learned quickly that like I put a lot of emphasis in the opinions of people that really should have never had any input into what I was doing anyway. And that's because, and again, I can look back and go, why did I care about his opinion? Because he was a grown man that I wanted to look at me and go, wow, that's great, Terrence, good job.
And the truth is, we're not going to listen to counsel unless we ask for counsel. Very few times have I ever listened to somebody when I did not want counsel.
Well,
I wasn't open or in a environment to accept it. You know what I mean?
Well, so Greg Reed's thing is the difference between counsel and opinion. Opinion is just somebody who's doing something. If I was going to write, and I'm almost stealing his lines verbatim, if I was going to write a best-selling novel, I wouldn't go to my cousin who's a gas station attendant at 7-Eleven and ask about my best-selling novel. That's not who I would go to. That's not who I would receive information from. That's not the person I want to be getting information from. Counsel comes from the person that's done the thing I'm trying to do. So if, for example, Greg Reed said, hey, Terrence, this is a great book. There's a couple changes I'd make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this would really sell. I'm 100% going to go, what changes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I modify this? And I listen.
Are we alluding to that you're going to be writing a book?
I technically already wrote one. I wrote one a couple months ago.
Really?
So, yeah, it's called Suffer in Silence. But it's like legit in my computer, my laptop. It's like fucking 135 pages. I started writing.
135 pages?
Yeah, I just kept
call that
writing.
a book?
I just kept writing. That's a big book.
I just
hey, listen, you're still reading Dr.
I don't think you can write. Oh, yeah, I know you can't draw.
Honestly, no.
130. I mean, that's respectable, man. Yeah, I mean, Suffer in Silence. That actually seems like a pretty damn good book.
It's not. It's super sad, actually.
Oh yeah, it's about somebody suffering.
It's a great book. No, it's not so much about somebody suffering. It's actually it's more of like a business allegory. So it's more so like, hey, like this is someone who has suffered. That's the opening to most movies anyway. Most books and movies start out with the hero of the story going through some major events of pain or trauma, and then deciding to make a change.
Usually, there's a girl in it.
Usually there's a girl in it. And this one, it's the opposite. This one is legit written. This is my life the last 2 years. That's all I wrote. That's all I wrote.
This is the last 2 years.
The last 2 years. I just wrote it down. I wrote down everything. And I wrote down all of the thoughts, the opinions, how I felt, how this made me feel, how this action made me look, how this. And then there's a turning point. There's the character that believes in the story, which again, obviously, at this point, it's not even like a fantasy book. It's like this is what I'm looking for. Come help me. It's a character who goes, hey, like I see that you have the skills and abilities, and instead of giving him the opportunity to go get these things, he puts him in opportunities to reflect the characteristics and the skills and abilities that he knows he already has in him. So if in this case, if the character doesn't have confidence in his own knowledge, skills, and abilities, the mentor of the book puts him in the position to where he has to reflect those things. And then as he's there, he's like, wait a minute, like these people are listening to me, like I'm nobody. These are multimillionaires. Why would they listen to me? Because you have the knowledge, the skills, and the expertise, but you just don't believe it.
You know, and on that note, if you want to learn more about Suffer in Silence, you have to listen to the next episode.
Oh, yes.
Because now we're over. We're done. This was our pilot. So thank you for watching, because we are unlicensed, unfiltered, and unhealed. Therapy Was Full podcast. Hit like, hit subscribe, and shoot your comments and share with a friend.
Thank you.